have now finished cutting out all our sunflower petals, the 16 and the 8, and we are going to start painting them. So I did learn a trick. So what you want to do, remember, if there's, you can always wipe them away. So we're going to put a little bit of water on this because I just learned that it's easier for it to get. And we're going to put some little orange here. Now you may want to, you know, and you can use a little piece of cheesecloth because the edges, you know, some flowers are very, very yellow, and you can diffumate this part. So we're going to do the next one. We're just going to wipe it with a little bit of water because this obviously helps. What I just learned is the, and we just spread it out a bit. With your little piece of cheesecloth. So we're gonna do, you see if we don't wet it down, it doesn't seem to mark it the same way. So that's a good thing to know. Now this one I didn't wet it down. So some can be darker and some can be lighter. See, here you got a little bit of difference in some. They don't have to be all the same. Actually, I've noticed sunflowers have, like, their petals are just so unique. So we're gonna do the second one. And then we gotta do the back part too. So we're just gonna do one side, and then we go around with all of them to both sides. Move that green up. So remember, these are soft pastels. They're not the oil pastels. The oil pastels will leave a little kind of this like residue, which is fine too. I mean, I work with all of them, right? So, but if you want to give it a softer touch, well, honestly, I usually use more. This one I'm going to make it a little bit less. I got the wrong one. Oh. Now we're going to do just one side first. Clean it up. So there we go. Wet it down here a little bit. So here we go. Look at how pretty it looks. See? Then the other side. I like it like that. Wet it. You get it wet with a little bit of wiping. And this one came out too thin. And there's a cheesecloth. we're going to grab this other one. And we're going to paint it out. Over here. And we're going to do that. Oh, that's so pretty. Thermoform is going to look so nice. Just going to diffuminate this one a little bit because it looks a little bit too marked. Oops. A little bit too marked for me. This one looks good. You can always go and give it another pass if you feel like you want it a little bit darker. It all depends really on the sunflower you like. I make all types really. So actually this is probably the darkest one I've done because I usually just do the yellow and I use lacquer paint. And I just spray the center. I don't spray so much, but for tutorial purposes, we are doing the soft pastels, which is a very fast and I think it's easy. You don't need your painting station or anything like that. So we are finished with these. Now we're just going to turn them around and do the other side. I'm just going to go like this and then just go after and diffuminate them. I think it'll be the fastest way. You know, when you're on a roll. So I need to get a new mat because I can't seem to get rid of that little glue thing there. As much as I've tried it with thinner and everything, it just won't get off. And it's already a little bit crooked because it's had the heat gun too much on it. You know, when I have like those giganormous 40-incher flowers to do, they are so, they make a mess and they'll ruin lots of stuff. They are very spoiled flowers. So we just go like this. Next one. Next one. we go. Oh, we're missing this one. And we are almost done. But I am going to go back and diffuminate the back part a little bit with my cheesecloth. Just to make sure. I mean, you will notice when we thermoform, these lines will start being a little bit less noticeable. So it's kind of like it's just really a shadow. So now we're gonna grab our little cheesecloth, or you can use cotton, and just diffuminate this a little bit. Now we're diffuminated that. 3. You see how it softens up a little bit? We are almost done painting our leaves. Now here, a little bit on the back. Now this part will be on the back, but I like it, you know, like, because if you have it in a centerpiece, people will be sitting in back of it and they will be looking up, and you want your flower to be as realistic as possible from any angle. So your engineering has to be really good. So we are done painting our leaves, and we are going to go on to the next step. So we will now start coloring. We are going to use soft pastels for coloring these. Well, we got this little green. I'm going to do this little yellow and this other yellow. So I think I have another green somewhere else. You can use any tones you like. So, here we go. And I'm actually liking this sunflower with a little bit of a different tone. So let's start. So this is a light color, but I'm going to do the edges darker, kind of bluish. So you can use, I don't know if you can see. So we're just going to do this, and then we're going to put a little bit of yellow, maybe this one tone. Oh, here we go. I don't know if you can see. It will be thermoformed later, so you've got to consider that. So we're gonna do this, a little bit of yellow in here. And then we're gonna do this little bluish one. It's gonna look kind of, so we're gonna do these. And we're gonna then diffuminate it. So can you see that? And then we are going to grab a little piece of cheesecloth. You can use cotton, you can use, you can also do this with a brush, you know, with craft paint, acrylic paint. So I'm just gonna diffuminate it a little bit. So you're gonna see when we thermoform it how different it goes. And I'm gonna put a little bit more yellow right here, just to give it a little something, you know, a little shadow here. So there we go. We're gonna do the other side. So we're gonna do the same. Now don't worry, in all my classes I take, you just, if it gets, you just use a wipey, like a Lysol wipey or a baby wipey. And it's kind of like, you know, you can use something like this if you get a stain or something, and just clean it up. It is, honestly, it's, see, I don't know if you can see how well it cleans. So that's the good thing about EVA foam. You can also repaint it, repurpose it. So you clean it up like that, and so it cleans up pretty good. Then we're gonna get, ooh, it's getting darker. I like it. I kind of like this dark turquoise tone. So I'm gonna have to go and darken up the other side. And you know, this is the outside, so we do this. And then we're gonna put a little bit of, well, it was actually this tone of yellow, or this other tone. And then we're gonna grab our cheesecloth and make sure it's kind of diffuminated. I guess a little water worked. So remember, don't be afraid when you know, because when you thermoform it, not that it loses its color, but you can see it's really just a look, I like it here. It's really just a shadow. It turns into a shadow, so definitely want to do this color here. I think the water from the wipey helped. So I think I'm going to use a wipey, wet it a little bit. Yeah, look at that. There we go. All of a sudden these so we're gonna do this again. We're gonna mark it better. Well, that's marked. So let's get this wet a little bit. Could help. There it does. So we're just going to diffuminate this so it turns into a shadow. And you will see when we thermoform how pretty it's going to look. So we got leaf number 1, leaf number 2. It's a little bit different, but let's follow the line. So remember, there is no perfect leaf. Get it a little bit better. And we're going to paint it pretty well, our edges, and then we're going to just put a little bit of yellow on this and a little extra here, a little here. Maybe let's give it a little extra, a little yellow with this other one, which is it's a little bit yellower because it is a sunflower. And the sunflower does have a very particular kind of leaf, but it's all going to be in the thermal forming. So here you go. And then here we are. So it's diffuminated, can you see? So now we're gonna go to the other side. You wanna clean it up. Yes, the cleaning helps with the color. Yes, it does. So now you know. When you have your EVA foam a little bit wet, your pastel colors will be a little bit darker. But it all depends. So you're going, here's the outside, the outside. Let me mark this a little one over here. Now it works really nice, actually. I'm going to give it this lighter tone of yellow. And make sure we mark this area. And then we're going to diffuminate it.
See how pretty that looks?
Really well marked. Wow. Now I want it like that over here, but we're just gonna have to get it a little bit wet. I did not know this trick. I would just use it to clean it up. But I'm just gonna mark it a little bit because it's already marked. So we're just gonna use this to make sure it leaves a little mark. Look at that, how pretty. Now we're just gonna wait here. Let me put an extra yellow here. And there we go. So we're gonna go on to the third one. Now let's do the same things. Wow. So we go to the outside and we just make the mark. And then we're going to put a little bit of our yellow on the outside. And now we're going to use our little cheesecloth or cotton ball to kind of get this diffuminated, but leaving it marked at the same time because you want a little mark. So there you go. Look at that, how pretty. We're gonna do the next one. Let me get it wet. So remember, we're gonna do our from the inside to the outside. Just like that. They don't have to be perfect. And we're gonna put a little bit of yellow. And we're just going to diffuminate it.
go.
So we got 3. We got the 4th one to go. Oh, we forgot to put a little water. It's pretty awesome. You live and learn, really. Because this one is a new little trick for me, actually. And it's all about experience, really. So we're gonna do this to the outside. Ta-da. Not put that there. Gonna put in our yellow. And now we're gonna grab our little cheesecloth and just make it a little bit more diffuminated. And make these little stones dress up. And then we're going to dazzle. You know, I would always kind of clean them up with a wipey. And then we go to the outside. Do our yellow. I kind of like that tone of green. I don't know what you all think, but I like the, well, I mean, turquoise has always been one of my favorite colors, I gotta say. I always try to, I don't know, I'm kind of into more than earthy tones, into fresh tones like fuchsia. So we got our 4 leaves. Now we're gonna move into our 60 little petals. So we're gonna try to do it as fast as possible. Now, honestly, you can just maybe do this, and you only have to do one side and maybe just the center here. And we use a little bit of water there. You don't really need much. You just want a little bit of tone yellow. And then center blue. You could also decide to do some the other way around if you want like yellow on the outside, blue on the outside, right? It could be, it's very, very unique because this is going to be thermoformed, and you can actually, you know, just diffuminate it a little bit just so it gives a little bit of tone. You see? So when we thermoform them, this goes like that, and it glues on the back. So we're gonna continue, and it's just pretty simple. And this one is just one side, because they're gonna be glued, this is the sepal. So it's gonna be glued to the back of the sunflower. So do not worry, you just, if you feel, oh no, it didn't come out perfect, do not worry. So if you need this to be more marked, I can't believe I'm doing this trick right now. Thought we knew them all the tricks. Wait, this wasn't this good. I think I'm just Well, we really want the little edge, which is going to be more noticeable, more important, so we can go from here. This edge to the outside, So we're just going to mark this line, mark the line, line. This one. So now we're finished with these, and we are going to go with these other. I'm going to go back to the system. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Do quite a bit of them. And here we go. Now we're just going to get our little new trick that we just learned. We're gonna finish all these up. So there you go, if you want to diffuminate them a little bit, or whichever you feel needs a little bit more outgoing. So we are done with painting our leaves, and we will continue with the next step.